You know that feeling when you buy a game at full price and then wonder if it was really worth it? Yeah, I've been there too. But let me tell you, some games are so good, so packed with quality and content, that they're worth every single cent. Today on Playverse Gaming, I'm going to show you 10 PS5 games that totally justify paying full price. If you love games as much as I do, you'll definitely want to stick around until the end. And hey, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss any new videos. All right, let's jump in. Stellar Blade is one of those games that just blew me away. It's visually stunning, but it's not just about graphics. It has fluid, almost dance-like combat that feels satisfying from the very first hit. The boss fights are massive, intense, and really test your reflexes. What I love the most is how the game balances action with storytelling. It has this futuristic setting, but the character development feels surprisingly emotional. You're not just slashing enemies, you're connecting with a world that feels alive. The animations, the combat systems, even the little details in exploration make you feel like this was built with so much care. For me, this is the kind of game that screams next-gen experience. Definitely worth every penny. Resident Evil 4 Remake. Now, Resident Evil 4 was already a classic, but the remake, wow. They took one of the most iconic survival horror games ever and gave it the love it deserved. The atmosphere is darker, more tense, and the visuals make everything feel even more terrifying. The controls are smoother, the shooting feels precise, and exploring that creepy village never gets old. What I really enjoyed is how Capcom didn't just copy and paste the old game, they reimagined certain parts to make it fresh while still keeping the soul of the original. It's nostalgic for older fans, but still feels brand new for people playing for the first time. Honestly, this is one of the best remakes ever made, and it's absolutely worth full price.
We will beat this. Together.
Astro Bot might look cute, but don't let that fool you. This is one of the best platforming experiences on PS5, period. It's charming, creative, and it really shows what the DualSense controller can do. Every little vibration, every adaptive trigger effect makes you feel like you're part of the game. And it's not just gimmicks, the levels are genuinely fun, packed with secrets, and filled with references to PlayStation's history. Playing Astro Bot feels like a celebration of gaming itself. It's joyful, lighthearted, and yet so polished that it stands as a must-have. I can't tell you how many times I found myself smiling just running around in this game. It's pure fun, and that's priceless. Metaphor ReFantazio. If you're into JRPGs, Metaphor ReFantazio is something you cannot miss. Made by the team behind Persona, it has that same mix of style, deep storytelling, and meaningful choices. The world is beautifully designed with a fantasy twist that sets it apart. What stands out for me is the way the game makes you feel invested in the characters and their journey. The combat system is strategic, but still dynamic, keeping every fight engaging. And like any great RPG, it's packed with hours and hours of content. This isn't just a game, it's an experience that stays with you long after you put the controller down. That alone makes it worth full price. Diablo 4. When it comes to action RPGs, Diablo 4 nails it. The dark tone, the world design, the loot system, everything comes together perfectly. It feels like a return to the series' roots, but modernized in all the right ways. Exploring dungeons, customizing your build, and grinding for better gear is just addictive. What I personally love is the shared open world, where you might run into other players during big world events. It makes the game feel alive without taking away that classic Diablo experience. Plus, the sheer amount of content, from story to endgame activities,
guarantees you'll get your money's worth. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is pure PlayStation magic. It's colorful, fast-paced, and technically impressive. The way it uses the PS5's SSD to instantly switch between dimensions is insane. It feels like something that wasn't even possible in previous generations. The gameplay is fun and creative, with tons of wild weapons that make combat entertaining from start to finish. But what really surprised me was the heart in the story. Ratchet, Clank, and Rivet bring a lot of charm and humor, making it a joy to play. This is the kind of game you buy at full price and never regret it, because it feels like you're playing a Pixar movie.
The train's pulling away. Let's go.
Street Fighter 6 is one of the most polished fighting games out there right now. The mechanics are deep but still approachable, meaning both newcomers and veterans can have a blast. The new drive system changes the way matches play out, giving you tons of strategic options. What I love is how the game also gives players a lot of content outside of just fighting. The World Tour mode lets you explore, train, and build your own character, which is something completely fresh for the series. It has style, energy, and a community that's alive and growing. Honestly, this is one of the few fighting games that feels worth the full investment.
Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Miles Morales might not be as long as the original Spider-Man game, but every moment is packed with quality. Swinging through New York in the winter, with snow covering the streets, feels magical. The combat is smooth and flashy, especially with Miles' unique Venom powers. The story is heartfelt, showing Miles stepping into his own as a hero. What I personally loved was the vibe of the game. It feels fresh, modern, and full of personality. It's not just a side story, it's a complete package that delivers an unforgettable superhero experience. For me, it's worth every cent.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This one is special. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth takes the original classic and reimagines it into something massive. It expands the world, adds depth to the story, and lets us connect even more with Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, and the others. The combat system is a perfect balance of action and strategy, making every fight feel intense. What makes this worth full price isn't just the nostalgia, it's how Square Enix has managed to deliver a game that feels epic in scale, with tons of content to explore. This is the kind of game you can sink dozens of hours into and still feel like there's more to uncover.
Why come back now? After 5 years, doing who knows what?
When I say it.
The Last of Us Part 1. Finally, we have The Last of Us Part 1, the remake of one of the greatest games of all time. Some people questioned if it needed a remake, but once you play it, you see why. The visuals are stunning, the performances are even more emotional, and it feels like the definitive way to experience Joel and Ellie's story. This isn't just a remaster, it's a rebuilt game that takes advantage of the PS5's power to deliver a more immersive experience. For me, The Last of Us is one of those timeless stories, and having this updated version makes it worth owning again. So, there you have it.
10 PS5 games that are absolutely worth paying full price for. These aren't just good games, they're the kind of experiences that stay with you, the ones you don't regret investing in. Which of these have you played already, and which ones are you planning to grab next? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your picks. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe to Playverse Gaming, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next one. Until then, happy gaming!